has been so much action. You heard Charlie talking about Kim Foxx dropping the Cook County case against Kelly. That was on January 30th. And just last week, Kelly's team requested a new trial in this case. They were claiming that two of the witnesses lied under oath. One of them, they said, was accuser, was a star witness, Jane. The other that they accused of lying under oath was an expert. This was a licensed clinical forensic psychologist who talked a little bit about Kelly's mindset. Now, the federal judge denied that, but it speaks to how much his team was still trying to work to try to get this reset and give it another shot, if you will, just a week before the sentence was handed down.
And of course, we have to say that this has been a long saga for R. Kelly. You might recall that it was 15 years ago, 2008. He was acquitted in state court here in Cook County. He was acquitted on one charge in this federal case here in Chicago that he and others conspired to rig his Cook County trial 15 years ago.
The big questions today were always, will the sentence be run at the same time as the New York sentence, or will it be on top of that? We have that answer now. Again, 1 year on top of New York's 30 years, and then 19 years to be served at the same time. The other question is, will restitution be awarded to any of Kelly's victims? We understand that is what that discussion is happening in the courtroom right now. That's why we haven't seen the attorneys yet come down to share their thoughts on this sentencing. But that is the next big question that we hope to have an answer to sometime soon.
We can never forget the role that a very persistent journalist, Jim DeRogatis, played in so much of this. You know, there were the pleas that people were not taking the sexual abuse, Kelly's sexual abuse of children seriously, and Jim DeRogatis of the Sun-Times and later other publications persisted and continued to report on the alleged abuse at the hands of R. Kelly, and as a result, we see what is happening in court here in Chicago today and what happened in New York. Let's go back to Charlie in the bullpen. Charlie?
And guys, along the lines of the restitution argument here, you know, a big factor is that that R. Kelly's defense attorney has made here is that he doesn't have much money left. You know, estimates before all of this, all of the legal troubles that he was facing, that R. Kelly's fortune was somewhere around $1 billion, but that has since been depleted over the years, not only with his lifestyle, but also all of the legal battles that he has faced. So even if restitution is demanded by a judge, the victims likely aren't likely to see much money in this case. So while it is an argument, a judge certainly has the right to hand it, force restitution or order restitution. In reality, the victims are unlikely to see any of that money, especially with R. Kelly not making a dollar in the last several years, and as he now will be behind bars for at least 31 years. But again, we are in the bullpen waiting for updates from federal prosecutors who were pushing for close to more than 2 decades behind bars, and only an additional year will be tacked on to that New York sentence.
Thank you.
We're pleased to be joined on the line by Jim DeRogatis. No journalist has done more to bring R. Kelly's crimes to light than Jim DeRogatis, the veteran journalist. His book is called Soulless: The Case Against R. Kelly. Jim, your reaction to the sentence today?
Well, it's mixed. I mean, 20 years additional, but consecutive and only 1 year to be served after the sentence in New York. It's kind of an insult to the prosecution that laid out a tremendous amount of very harrowing evidence. Those videos, anyone who saw them will never forget them. And, the main victim from the 2008 case, her life was ruined. The victim impact statements were incredibly powerful. I think Judge Leinenweber is sending a message that the federal government from the beginning should have consolidated the cases, the Chicago federal case and the Brooklyn federal case, into one case. But you have to still look at it. No one in the history of popular music, where men have been mistreating women for a very long time, has ever been sentenced to life in prison effectively, as Kelly is.